Welcome to our first series on how to prepare for the mathematics section on your upcoming Scholastic Assessment Test, or SAT for short. This video is designed to walk you through questions that are contextually and stylistically similar to those that you might come across. Remember, if you plan on going to college next year, most schools use these scores to determine your admission, so don't take this lightly. Now, I've designed this video to serve as a simulation of the math portion, and I'll be honest, I've not read through the questions myself. So we'll be tackling them together as if we were answering them for the first time. Do keep in mind that I teach math for a living, so I'll be sharing my wisdom as we do each example. Some I might know right away, others I might get stumped on. So to receive the most benefit from this practice test, complete it as if it were the real thing. Try to isolate yourself for the duration of this video so you'll not be disturbed. Let's get started. In question number 1, if the expression shown right here, then one possible value of x could be. Now there's two ways to approach this. The way I would approach it is by actually solving it because I know how to solve equations quickly. But a backdoor approach would be to substitute each one of these possibilities into wherever there is an x. Then evaluate to see which would make the equation true. But rather than taking that route, I'll solve this the honest way. So I'm going to go ahead and solve it by first finding, well, I noticed that there are two fractions, one fraction here and one fraction here. And whenever you have a fraction on the left side and the right side of an equation, you can cross multiply, the technique of cross multiplication. In other words, I'll multiply 2 plus x with x minus 5. Let me show you. 2 plus x times x minus 5 is equal to, and then you cross multiply the numerator with the opposite denominator, so 3 times 2x. Now we expand the left side. I have 2x minus 10, so I multiply the 2 and the x and the 2 and the negative 5, and then multiply this x with these two terms. So I have plus 2x squared minus 5x is equal to, this part becomes 6x. It looks like I'm going to have a quadratic equation. So let's move this term over. I have 2x will combine with that and will combine with the negative version of that. So 2 minus 5, we combine the coefficients. 2 and minus 5 is negative 3. Minus 6, that's negative 9x, minus 10 plus x squared is equal to 0. I'll rearrange this so that I have x squared first, minus 9x, minus 10. Okay, can I factor this thing? What two numbers multiply to negative 10 and add to negative 9? I think I have negative 10 and positive 1. So I will write this as a factor of two binomials, x minus 10 and x plus 1 is equal to 0. This looks like I'll have two solutions. I'll have x is equal to positive 10 and negative 1. One of these has to be right. It's got to be negative 1 because positive 10 isn't written as one of the options. So I would choose A. In question 2, in the graph above, A, B, C, D is a square. What are the coordinates of point B? So right here. Now they haven't shown us any of the intervals on the xy plane. That's fine. B and C are on the same y level. And the y-coordinate here is 4, therefore the y-coordinate of B has to be 4. B and A are on the same vertical line. So the x-coordinate of A has to be that of B. The answer should be negative 1 and 4. For question 3, the line y is equal to 2 over 3x minus 5 is perpendicular to which of these lines? For this problem, we have to identify the slope. So every linear equation can be modeled in its standard form as y is equal to, sorry, I said standard, but it's actually slope y-intercept form, where you have this slope as mx plus b. M is the one that's being multiplied to the independent variable. In our case, it's 2 over 3. So I've identified the slope as 2 over 3 here, but we're told that a line that's perpendicular. In other words, this line is at 90 degrees to this line. And to find the slope of another line that's at 90 degrees, we actually take the negative reciprocal of this fraction. So the reciprocal of this fraction would be 3 over 2. The negative reciprocal would be, well, the negative version of it. So we look for the one that has negative 3 over 2, and the only one here is E. All right, we're pretty good on time. Remember, it is a 3-hour test, so you want to time yourself. For question 4, if 30% of R is equal to 75% of S, so 30%, we have to write that as a decimal. Okay, so 30% divided by 100% is 0.3. We use the same logic for S, so it would be 0.75. I'll write down 0.3 R is equal to 0.75 S. That's that first statement. And then we're told what is 50% of S if R is 30. Okay, so we're told what R is. It's going to be 30. 0.3 times 30 is equal to 0.75 S. Solving for S, I get this number divided by 0.75. So I'll cross that out. S is equal to that expression. So we need to do this first. We'll use our calculator. 0.3 times 30 divided by 0.75 is 12. All right, now they're saying what is 50% of S? So 50% of this number is 6. Moving on to 5. A dormitory now houses 30 men and allows 42 square feet of space per man. So per man, 42 feet squared per every one man. If 5 more men are put into this dormitory, how much less space will each man have? So let's figure this one out. We have 30 men, so we'll multiply 30 men, and the unit and that unit cancels out. Let's find out how many square feet is available for these 30 men. 1,260 feet squared. That's how much is available. If we put 5 more men in here, how much less space will each man have? So that's per 30 men. Okay? If we add 5 more, then we have 35. So let's see what the rate will be. 3260 divided by 35. That's 36 square feet per every one man. That means there will be 6 less square foot per every man. That one almost had me stumped. Okay, 6. Rob has 6 songs on his portable music player. How many different 4-song orderings can Rob create? So he has 6 songs, and we have to find out the total number of combinations here. So I'm going to skip this one because I forgot the combination formula, but I'll revisit it after the next one. Let's see if I can tackle number 7. The statement Raphael runs every Sunday is always true. Which of the following statements is also true? So Raphael runs every Sunday. That is a true statement. If Raphael does not run, then it is not Sunday. So we need to create some sort of truth table here. And let's see if I can figure this out. If Raphael does not run, then it is not Sunday. If Raphael runs, then it is Sunday. So Raphael runs every Sunday is always true. That also seems true, B. If it is not Sunday, then Raphael does not run. Well, we don't know that. We don't know if he runs on other days. If it is Sunday, then Raphael does not run. That's not true. If it is Sunday, it is impossible to determine if Raphael runs. That's not true. Let's revisit C. If it is not Sunday, then Raphael does not run. We don't know if that's true. If Raphael does not run, then it is not Sunday. We also don't know if that's true. If Raphael runs, then it is Sunday. I think it's B. Okay, now let's revisit 6. I know this has to do with permutations and combinations. It's been a while since I've done that. So if it is a permutation, I believe the formula is P nr is equal to n factorial over n minus r factorial. And I do believe that there is a function on most scientific calculators that can do this for you. So n represents the total number of songs in our case. 6 factorial over 6 minus 4 songs. So it would be 6 minus 4 factorial. So let's use our calculator to see if that's the case. 6 factorial. I don't know where the factorial button is here, so I'll just write down 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And 2 factorial is 2 times 1. So 720 divided by 2 is 360. And do we have a 360? Yes, we do. So that's my guess there. For question 6, it has to do with permutations. 6 can be, or the 4 songs can be ordered in this many ways if you have 6 songs in the bunch. So that concludes our very first series. In our next part, we will be showing more of these questions, and we hope you can join us, and we'll see you then.